On the new moon night, everything went wrong. Jina Chandra Suri came and met me and started speaking very sweetly to me. I wondered what had come over him. There was certainly no need for such ingratiating behavior. I now know he was just fattening me up for the kill. Because after all the preliminaries, he told me, now you are going to do SHAVA sadhana. I had no idea what he was talking about. When I asked him, he explained that a fresh corpse, or SHAVA, had been obtained, and that I was to sit on the corpse and perform a ritual. Apparently, he had looked into my horoscope and realized that I could succeed at this sort of sadhana. He must have planned out the whole drama over the last 3 years. Well, I told him I had no intention of doing anything like sitting on a corpse and performing sadhana. I had done some yoga before, but our family worships Krishna, and for us, it is unthinkable to have anything to do with dead bodies or spirits or anything like them. Besides, since childhood, I could never see a corpse without breaking out in a sweat and falling into a faint, all because I so strongly self-identified with the dead individual. Once or twice, when I was out driving, I met a funeral procession and actually lost control of the car and allowed it to run onto the footpath. It was very dangerous. So I couldn't even imagine what would happen to me were I to sit on a corpse. Jina Chandra Suri started to try to convince me, but I was adamant. Finally, he lost his temper. It was the first time I had ever seen the old man get angry. He told me, "If you refuse to do it, I'll perform the ritual myself on your corpse." I flared up. "Who do you think you were threatening?" I assumed he was talking through his hat. To show me he meant business, he motioned to a group of drunken tribals who were standing nearby holding knives, clubs, and other weapons. At his signal, they walked over and surrounded me. I was really in a fix. If I did the sadhana, there was a very good chance I'd die of sheer terror, or because some spirit would catch hold of me, or maybe the deity herself would decide to take me as a sacrifice. But if I didn't do it, it was definite I would die. I decided that if I was going to die either way, then I might as well perform the ritual, since there would be at least some minor chance of survival that way. When I informed the old man that I would do it, he immediately brightened up and became cheerful again. He started explaining the details of the ritual to me, how to position the corpse, how to sit on it, how to tie the lifeless thumbs and toes. Then he made me drink a full bottle of country liquor. I am the son of a Hindu merchant, and until that moment in my life, I had never even touched an egg, much less a piece of meat or a drop of alcohol. But there was no choice. I took a big pull from the bottle. My God! I thought my throat was on fire. Tears came to my eyes. After all, it was my first time. Jina Chandra Suri was so overjoyed by my agreeing to do the sadhana that he became very solicitous about my condition. Seeing the effect of the moonshine on me, he was so concerned he actually picked up the bottle and started feeding it to me a little at a time. By the time I had finished the whole bottle, all my fear had gone. This was the first time I had ever felt real fear in my entire life, and let me tell you, I was really scared. The only thing left for me was to foul my pants. I was so desperate. I was sweating, my hands were shaking, I was overwhelmed with terror. By the end of that bottle, though, I had lost every iota of my fear. I had made up my mind that I would either succeed at that sadhana or die trying. There was no way out. Challenge and response, the law of the jungle. I was ready. This is the beautiful effect of alcohol. You never fear or hesitate once you've taken it. It has a number of side effects, no doubt, and very few people use it for the right purposes. But for certain practices, it is essential. It was really a good thing that I drank that moonshine, because it helped me out in several ways. Then I was taken to the corpse. It was that of a young girl of about 15. Very pretty. She belonged to a tribe whose members pressed oil from seeds to earn a living. She had been dead only a few hours and was so lovely that I forgot the ritual, the danger, the fear, and everything else, and started thinking only of her. She was beautiful in the way only primitive people can be beautiful. Not an ounce of excess fat, Not a wrinkle on her skin. Her thighs solid like trees. Her breasts absolutely firm. I found myself wishing she were still alive so I could take her off alone to a quiet place and we could enjoy together. I was even ready to marry her. She looked so lovely. This was not necrophilia or anything perverted. I was just very drunk, and I was sorry she was dead and unable to play about with me. I am telling you the truth about all this, so you'll have some idea of what it is like. While I was drinking, they had taken her to the appropriate spot and pointed her head in the correct direction. Jina Chandra Suri, who was looking very pleased with himself, handed me an object and explained, "I am giving you my yantra, which I worshipped for 40 years in Assam. It will take care of you. There is nothing to worry about. I'm going to sit over there," he said, motioning to a spot about 100 yards away, "and repeat mantras for your protection." He then took a black thread and did kilana in a big circle around me. Kila means nail, and kilana is meant to nail off or seal off an area to prevent any troublemaking spirit from disturbing your concentration. As long as you remain within the circle, you are safe. The moment you step outside the circle, you've had it. You become a spirit yourself, unless there is some ethereal being nearby who can come to your rescue, which is highly unlikely. After the kilana, the old man told me which mantra to recite, gave me my japa mala, or rosary, to count the repetitions, and shoved a dish of raw meat and a bowl of wine in front of me. The idea was that when the goddess appeared in the form of an animal, I should offer the meat and the wine to please her. Satisfied with my worship, she would tell me to ask for a boon, and I should reply, "Do whatever my guru says to do," meaning Jina Chandra Suri. This was all the old man's idea, of course, and I had no intention of saying anything like that. First, I wanted to see whether or not the sadhana would actually work, and then, if it did, I would think about what to ask her for. Jina Chandra Suri walked off and sat down to start doing japa for my protection, and I knelt on the corpse in the manner I had been shown. The supine girl's mouth was open and had been filled with oil. The old man had shown me how to make a wick of raw cotton, and I lit my wick from one of the torches the tribals were carrying. Since it was a new moon night, there was absolute blackness except for this lamp, and I could see nothing but the poor girl's face, which looked ghastly, grotesque in the flickering light of the flames. All my previous desire for enjoyment with her melted away as I peered down into her open, fixed, unstaring eyes. Both of us were stark naked, and her cold body underneath mine caused a sort of creepy feeling to spread through my body and my mind. Here again, the alcohol saved me. Being drunk, I was able to shake off the dread and begin my japa, gazing full into her face to concentrate my mind there. The old man had warned me that if she tries to get up, I should knock her down and pin her firmly, so I was intently watching for the least twitch or flinch in her body to alert me to the danger. I suppose this is the most terrifying part of Shiva Sadhana, because it is an immense strain on your nerves if the corpse suddenly tries to sit up and begins to growl and scream at you. Many people have died of fright at this stage. One old fellow died right in front of me. He was trying to show off and challenged me to a contest. We procured 2 corpses. The idea was to see who could bring life into one most quickly and control it most firmly. I warned him that he was too old to be trying such stunts, but he was beyond reasoning with. As soon as the corpse started to sit up and he tried to control it, the spirit which had been forced to sit in the corpse caught a hold of him. His nerves failed, his heart failed, and he died. But I didn't have this problem on that first night, which is good, since otherwise I probably would not be sitting here telling you this story now. I sat and did my japa. I don't know how many I did, but it can't have been too many before I suddenly began to get a very eerie, extremely queer feeling, and I saw a pair of eyes watching me from the darkness. The animal, a jackal, approached me, snarling and baring its teeth. I don't know what came over me. It must have been the alcohol, because I was so drunk I didn't care for man or beast, but I became furious, I forgot everything I had been told to do. I forgot the wine and meat I was supposed to offer. I reached out of the circle, which had been drawn on the ground to protect me, and I grabbed the jackal. I was really incensed and said to it, "So, you want my blood, do you? Take this!" And I stuck my hand in its mouth. That liquor really did me immense good. I don't know what I would have done without it. The goddess, who was temporarily in the form of a jackal, was interested only in blood. One of the beast's teeth pricked my hand between the thumb and index finger, and the jackal licked up the drop of blood that oozed out. And then all of a sudden, there was Smashantara standing before me, smiling, asking me what I wanted from her.